I'm Mike Hatcher.
Hey folks, it's Ernie Pack.
I am Natalie Jones.
What's up everybody, my name's Matt Warner.
Hey, I'm G-Man. You know what, I'm George Shopland, I'm anybody you want me to be, but you know what, there's one thing I am. I'm part of the para movement. That's right, feel it. Oh, feel it.
My name is Melody Knapp and I am part of the para movement.
This is April, the Psychic Housewife from New Jersey, and I am part of the para movement.
Hashtag the para movement.
And I am part of the para movement.
And I'm part of the para movement.
I'm Sophia Tambrelli, and I'm part of the para movement.
Just wanted to talk real quick about the para movement that's going on in the world. It's all about para unity. It's about para family. It's about diversity like you'll see nowhere else. In the paranormal community, we got folks of all races, religions, sexual orientations, political beliefs, you name it. And we're spreading positivity, good vibes everywhere. So, hashtag the para movement. Join it, be a part of it, and everybody have a great day. Take care.
Why did you let him kill me? It was the clown.
To Animal Paranormal Live, where we talk about all things paranormal. And now, here's your host, the Animal.
Are you ready?
Hey, welcome to another beautiful Monday night on Animal Paranormal Live. I am your host, The Animal. It is a Monday, and, you know, in sunny Florida here, it's been freaking 90 degrees to hell here, and I know other people, I envy them because it's cold. I'm tired of sweating in this Florida heat. I wish it would snow here in Florida, but that will never happen. Not my luck, but thank you again, everybody, for listening. For the most non-listening to or listen to show in the world. Love you all. Thank you for tuning in. Before I bring my amazing guest, Josh Hurd, I just wanted to share something here with you a little bit about suicide, you know, about my documentary Through Hell and Back. I talk about it a lot, and it's the most, you know, especially in today's world, we're going through a lot of people, you know, losing jobs and losing lives and just, you know, struggling. So I just want to play this video because I feel like it's important to me and to, you know, just to reach out to people who are struggling. So check this out and, you know, you never know.
I am suicide. I take precious lives. I could be after someone you love. I could be after you. I work by turning your own thoughts against you. but I'm a liar and a cheat. I make you feel guilty or useless when you're not. I tell you things can never get better. They can. I tell you there's no point in taking a breath, asking for help. But there is. I tell you you're alone, and you're not. You can stop me, but you have to know how.
If you or someone you know is thinking about suicide, reach out for help. Call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK. We're waiting for your call.
Hey, y'all, I'm back to Animal. If you are having those issues, please call that number, the suicide hotline. I will leave a number down at the comment links there once the show ends. But I want to bring up my next guest, Josh Hurd. If you haven't heard of him, I'm sure you've heard of the G Crew, with all amazing guests on there and hosts that they've had in this show. But I want to bring him up. Josh, what's up, man?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Dude, brother, how's it going, man? How's life taking you? And I don't know where you're from. Where are you from? Is it cold up there?
Yeah, I'm in Iowa. That's where I'm at. So yeah, it's been like super cold. Last week it was like negative 30 degrees. And now today it was like right at 40 degrees. So it felt like a heat wave, honestly. Like I went outside to smoke a couple times and didn't even wear a coat, it felt amazing. So yeah, but yeah, it seems like warmer temperatures are on the way. Hopefully spring is kind of knocking on the door here. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, it's weird here in Florida, man. We have weird weather. It's like we have 1.5 seasons, I call it. It's like we either have hell or just a little touch of okayness. It's sure. It sucks down here. You just sweat. You like to take a shower and walk outside after, and you're sweating like you just took a second one. So
yeah,
it's freaking ridiculous, man. But yeah, let's go into G Crew, man. How did that all started? I love the show. Great guys, great hosts that you got on there, especially. All your guests on there. I love it. Talk about that. How did you guys come up with G Crew and especially being a G, becoming a G member?
Yeah, so it was all kind of, Nick's, brainchild, coming up with all of this. I had interviewed Nick for my own personal like Patreon page that I have, right? And I had interviewed Nick. It went really well. He had messaged me the next day and he was like, man, that was a lot of fun. If you ever need like a co-host or anything like that, let me know. And I'm like, oh, cool. I never reached out to him. You know what I mean? Like I never reached back out to him because I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to be like the annoying dude who's like, hey man, come on my show and whatever. And I certainly didn't want to feel like, I was riding coattails or anything like that. And I get this message one day from my buddy Johnny Hauser, and he was like, hey man, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. He's like, do you have time for a call here in the next like 5 minutes? I'm like, crap, who died, bro? Like Johnny doesn't call anybody. You know what I mean? Like with Johnny, it's all text.
Yeah.
And so he was like, no, man, it's like a conference call. I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, whatever. And it was Nick and Chad and Johnny on the other end, asking me if I wanted to be a part of this. And I mean, obviously, I jumped on the opportunity. So yeah, man. I mean, that's kind of how G Crew started. It was all Groff and Chad and Johnny and yeah, and now Mitch, that little bastard. But yeah. We can cuss. Can we cuss on your show?
We could say anything. I don't give a damn.
God. Okay. Thank God. Okay. Perfect. All right. So I can just kind of unwind a little bit, be myself.
Dude, we'll talk about anything. I don't care.
Perfect.
I don't care.
I love it.
But how do you become a G member? I like that. When you say when Nick Groff was talking, you could be a G. I was like, that sounds kind of gangster right there.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
like how cool is that to be a G member? So like, how do you become a G? Like, do you get shirts, or do you get like inaugurated or something?
We take you out behind the shed, you know. No, it's cool. Like if you go to patreon.com/G_crew, then you can sign up for $1. You have access to everything. I mean, then there's the $5 level, which also gives you then access to our live shows as well, which we like to do every week. We like to do a live show for our Patreon peeps. And then at the $25 level, then you get all of that fun stuff, and then you also get an autographed picture from all of us that we mail out to you. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'll have to sign up and be a G member just to get a shirt that says G on it, Captain G or something. I don't know.
I love it. We have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun with the show. We really do.
Oh man. Well, who knows? Maybe I'll come and hang out with you guys sometime and have some fun. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be great, bro. Absolutely.
Hell yeah, man. But tell me a little bit about yourself, like how you started in the paranormal, what you do, what your career is, pretty much.
I mean, I was back. God dang! Like I was 12 years old. I had lost an uncle. He was 31 years old when he passed away. So I mean, he was quite young. And there was some very odd things that happened, kind of surrounding his death, surrounding his funeral, all of that kind of got me asking the bigger questions in life. And I didn't stop asking the questions. I started diving into, the works of like Hans Holzer, Ed and Lorraine Warren, of course, were big influencers as well. Reading like parapsychological studies and all of that, like just crazy stuff for a 12, 13, 14-year-old boy to be diving into. And, I mean, I haven't stopped. I haven't stopped. I mean, since then, I've written 6 books. I've done, like 14 documentary films now.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. And now, I'm here at Malvern Manor in Malvern, Iowa. I mean, that's what I do. That's the day job, and then of course, G Crew would be the night shift, or whatever for me. But I mean, it certainly keeps me busy. But it's also fascinating. We dive into this paranormal stuff, and one question that we have seems to then lead to 100 more. Whether or not we're ever going to get any answers to any of these questions, definitive answers, will that has yet to be seen, I suppose. But we have a lot of fun doing it, though, and asking questions.
That's awesome. Oh, by the way, before I go on, I know your name is Josh. My name is Josh too, but
yeah.
It's funny how it's the Josh and Josh show tonight. So I think it's pretty cool. So
I mean, not to like toot my own horn or anything, but kick-ass name. I mean,
I know. It's like we should just have a show called the Josh and Josh show. Why not?
There it is.
It'd be kick-ass.
J squared. Man,
awesome, man. But yeah, to go back to your story, man, that's pretty awesome. You said you make documentaries. What kind of documentaries have you gotten into?
I mean, they're all in the vein of the paranormal, all of them. The first I did, I came out of the gate. I had written a book. It was called When Ghost Hunting Goes Wrong, A Brush with Evil, right?
Yeah.
And it was about me being young, dumb, and stupid. And in college, I had watched 5 episodes of Ghost Hunters with my friends, and thought we can absolutely do this. And off we go, and ended up biting off way more than we could chew, which then led me to write the book more as a therapy session. I don't ever claim to be a writer or anything like that, but then taking that book and turning it into a documentary film.
Wow.
Taking that book and letting the art kind of complement each other. So the book, which is very terribly written, I must say, and then the film itself, but the two come together quite nicely.
Yeah.
So with the A Brush with Evil film, we just took the subtitle of the book and made it the title of the film. We've now done 3 A Brush with Evil films in that series.
That's awesome.
Each kind of building off of the last. And then, of course, I've done numerous other documentary films as well. I just finished one called Intelligent Design, which is kind of a head trip, really. It has nothing really to do with ghosts, but more or less to do with the existence of what we may consider to be God, a creator, a grand designer of some sort. Because when you break everything down using math and all of this fun, boring stuff, which I tried to keep to a minimum, honestly, because I freaking hate math. But like we start to see similar patterns within us and within the universe and within weather patterns and things of that nature. It's trippy as crap how everything seems to come from the same singular source. And I tried to point that out in the film. And that will be released soon. That will be released very soon. So yeah.
That's awesome when you were saying that, because as a filmmaker also, actually a newer filmmaker.
Yeah.
I've kind of gotten away because there's so many paranormal documentaries out there, and it's really awesome, and I really respect what you're doing, kind of taking a different aspect on kind of of a religious kind of I guess you could say, because I'm a Christian, so it just fascinates me of what you're doing in that way, because I'm making a documentary right now through Hell and Back, and it's about, like I was saying, about people just going through suicide and just through hell and just getting through out of that. So I wanted to do something different than the paranormal, because I had so many documentaries lined up to do paranormal, and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to back out on them and, put them in the corner. Someday I'll probably go back to them. But I wanted to do something new, unique, and something different where I could reach people in a different way. That's why I liked what you were saying. It's something different, which is really cool, because then people are going to be like, what the hell? That's awesome.
Dude, I'm telling you, and I think that's the most important thing, right? Is being able to step away from your comfort zone, or whatever you want to call it, and focusing on a different aspect. It's it's totally paranormal. Like everything that I was just doing, it's totally paranormal. But it's not ghosts, it's not demons, it's not UFOs and aliens and Bigfoot and cryptids and all that. It's not that. This is the ultimate, question. Where the hell do we come from? Where the hell are we going? What the hell is this that we're doing here? So yeah, I think that's perfect, man, what you're doing. Stepping away from that momentarily to focus on something that you feel is more important. You know what I mean? I love it.
Yeah, it's totally impacting. And folks out there who's listening, sorry, I see you guys responding. Hey guys, hey Pamela, hey Courtney, hey Chris, hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Animal Paranormal Show with Josh Hurd. And I know I see some questions here. Chris wanted to know, where can we see the documentary videos that you did?
So Chris, if you go to VidiSpace, they're on VidiSpace. If you go to Amazon Prime, they're on there as well. And that's pretty much it right there. I know there are a couple on realhouse.org if you go to that site. But I would suggest Amazon first, and VidiSpace and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's another question. I'm sure you've been to the Axe Murder House in Iowa. Is it a great place to get a paranormal experience?
Bro, absolutely. The Villisca House, from where I sit here in Malvern Manor, is 30 minutes away down the same stretch of road.
Oh, wow.
It's close. One of the best places you'll ever go to. Absolutely. Absolutely. Love that building.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But going back to documentaries and stuff like that, doing something different, I really think what you're doing is amazing. And I just, like I said, again, I respect that and totally thank you for what you're doing.
Oh, thanks, brother.
It's a really cool thing, because I feel like, especially in this paranormal community, it's been down, a little bit. And I feel like we need to make a difference in it and spread that light to the darkness, kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So That's why it's good to do something different and not something so competitive all the time.
Yeah, dude, Jesus. Yeah, I'm telling you. I love it. I love it. It's and you're absolutely right though, but that's one thing that's always like thrown me for a loop, right? Is like, look at how many movies are released like throughout a year. Blockbuster films, okay? Big budget Hollywood release films. There's tons, right?
Yeah.
But then like, I mean, there's room for everybody. There really is. And so like with a lot of people, they do feel it. It's a big competition, which I can see that, sure. But at the same time, I just don't care. You know, I just don't even care. I just do it.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Oh, that's a good question. Do you believe in reincarnation?
I do, actually, Pamela. Such a great question. I do believe in reincarnation. It's interesting. God, I could probably talk for hours on this. I do believe, absolutely. It's interesting to me because talking with children, in fact, even close friends of mine, they're driving, just for an example, right? The dad was driving his two daughters around, and his youngest daughter said, "Dad, you know, I picked you." And the father was like, "What do you mean you picked me?" She's like, "I was up here. I was floating around, and I saw you and Mom, and I said they would make excellent parents, and I picked you, and then here I am." And
wow,
it was the craziest thing. And I mean, now like you read all these stories about these kids remembering like their past lives and going into detail about their death, sometimes a wrongful death, and sometimes like pointing out who did it, where their body is, like all of this really creep-tastic stuff that, I mean, it's stranger than fiction, you know, it's amazing stuff. So I do. I mean, the short answer is I absolutely do.
Well, it's funny that you said that. Someone told me a story about they drove past a place. It was like this big mansion up north. I can't remember exactly where it was, and they pointed out exactly everything in that house, everything that they remembered. They'd never been in it at all. But for some odd weird reason, they've pointed out everything. And then when they went into that building, you know, and got a tour, and they said everything about it, and they're like, "Holy crap! Like, how did you know that?" Like, and apparently they lived a past life there, and it's just, it just blows my mind of something like that we could go back that far in our minds, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's areas in our brain that we don't even use half of the time, and that stores memory.
Yeah.
That we don't even know that's there. Like there's times where I'll come back and I'm like, what the hell? How did I remember that? You know?
Yeah. I like to think of, obviously, because, you know, very similar to you, Josh, like I consider myself a Christian. Now you're not going to see me in church every Sunday morning in the front pew.
Yeah. Same here.
Like I like my sleep as well, but
same here.
I do believe, you know, church is a great support system. It's good for camaraderie. It's a wonderful thing to have. But yeah, again, I like my sleep, but like I like to incorporate the idea of reincarnation, because some people seem to think that reincarnation would instantaneously defeat God and put God out of the picture. And I don't believe that to be true at all. I think we're all spiritual beings.
Yeah.
I think what happens is we all go through so many different journeys, right? Like our soul or whatever, right? To become complete, we have to go through terrible hardship. We have to go through extraordinarily like happy times as well. We have to go through everything in between. And I think we go through all of this stuff and then we become complete. And then after it's all said and done, and when I say all said and done, I quite literally mean everything is said and done, then we get to heaven or whatever you want to call it, you know. But that's just me. I mean, I don't know. I have a lot of weird thought processes on all of this stuff.
Now, it's funny. Before I ask you this question, Tori Smith asked, I see you have a personal Patreon. Can you tell us what cool stuff you have going on there?
Well, I do, Tori. Thank you for the question. So Yeah, patreon.com/Josh Hurd, with the double H right there in the middle, you know. But yeah, like I think it's $3. There's no tiers or anything like that because I don't want to deal with it. So it's $3 a month. I do podcasts, I do blogs. I am now currently in the thing of doing a video series of solo investigations here at Malvern Manor. And what I'm doing is every flipping room and for like 45 minutes to an hour, and that's an episode. Continuous shot, no cuts, no edits, no anything. It's like, here it is, warts and all. You know what I mean? Like I love doing that stuff.
You blow apart, it's in there.
Yeah, it's there, man. Like if that happens, it happens. You get too scared or whatever, and you let something creep out the backside, it happens. But yeah, like it's all right there. And then I mean, God, like I'm even like from right here at the desk, like I even like to play Resident Evil video games live, and we're doing Phasmophobia live and all this stuff. So I love to do like live streams and be as interactive as possible with people. We are going to do a Patreon appreciation night where we invite all of my patrons here to Malvern Manor, all on me. Like it's not going to cost you guys anything, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, we have fun. We have a lot of fun over there, and I try to be as active as I can. I'm usually posting and doing all sorts of fun stuff 3-4 times a week. So, I mean, it's fairly active.
That's awesome. Pretty cool stuff, man. To go back into what we were talking about, a little bit with kind of going into a ghost aspect of where they come and kind of are ghosts something from the future, the past, or is it just something that when someone passes away, it's their spirit there? Because there's many dialogue and interpretation, I guess you would say, of what a ghost is or spirit.
Absolutely. You know, it's interesting, right? So, like, I'm going to talk a lot about Malvern here for just a moment, and I apologize. But
yeah. Oh, no
like
worries.
here at the Manor, for an example, we have certain things going on here that would seem very intelligent. There definitely seems to be some form of intelligence behind the activity. There are other things that are happening here that don't seem to have intelligence. And I don't just mean they're dumb. I mean, what I'm saying is it's a phenomenon that is happening over and over and over again, almost like a residual type of thing. They don't know that we're here. And if they do, I don't know. Like our shadow man, for an example, he will come out of his room, he will turn and then run at you. It's traveling the distance of 40 feet in less than a second.
Wow.
What's interesting to me is this was also this person's behavior in life. He would chase the nursing staff around. He would never hurt them. He would never do anything. But this gentleman was 6'7".
Wow.
Nonverbal, so he can't verbally relay information or process emotions the same way that we process emotions. He's just acting upon them as he sees fit. So in a weird way, you feel sorry for this gentleman. It is interesting to me as well, though, because when people are bum rushed by this shadow man, nobody is getting hit or scratched or punched or anything like that. However, it is so big and so fast, and it's terrifying. This is certainly the phenomenon that'll send the majority of people out the door, myself included. So it's weird, so that to me would almost suggest something residual, right? There are certain things in here, man, that it's like you ask for it and you better be ready for the outcome because it's very possible that it's just going to come. So it's crazy.
Now, what about spirits picking up people and stuff like that, objects, or because I've seen where spirits will open and slam a door shut, unlock it, or pick a person up and just slam them on the floor.
So that was and that right there, bro, was like the premise basically of A Brush with Evil. My friend Blake, literally, I watched him fly out of a window, Hollywood style. I have never been that scared in my entire life ever. Like thank God we still have the audio recording of all of this. You know what I mean? Like it is terrifying. You hear this really creepy EVP right before it happens, and he just says, "You're dead." You know what I mean? And it's this weird, breathy, like, I don't know. But regardless, you hear this god awful choking sound, and it's my buddy Blake being pulled out of this window by the hood of his hooded sweatshirt that he's wearing, right? And I mean, it was, I don't even know, man. Like, honestly, like I still have issues with it. And that's the only reason why we made the dang film in the first place, was to go back there and kind of make our peace with everything, you know, kind of put this bullcrap to bed once and for all. Like, never come back here, and that's it. You're done affecting us and all of that, you know? Bro, like it's whatever that was, I don't think would be necessarily a ghost or anything like that. I do think it was something more than that. I have a hard time saying the D word, right? Like,
yeah, I was just gonna say that. I
don't like. I think too much stuff is put into that basket, right?
Yeah.
So not every mouse fart and squeak and creak in a house is a demon. I promise you.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like it was something more than that, but something I try to caution myself of saying, "Oh yeah, it was a demon." You know, I don't know. I don't know what it was. Of all places, I mean, we were in an old abandoned church. Why a demon would be hanging out there, I have no idea. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there would be one not there.
Exactly. So this is kind of where my brain goes. It's like, well, if it wasn't that, what the hell was it? What was this? What was that? I don't know. So it's weird. It's fascinating at the same time, but it's terrifying too, because there are things that are out there, right? That they don't wish us well. We know this. And no matter how rare these occurrences are, they certainly do happen. So yeah.
Well, just like Courtney was saying, and I'll ask you a question here in a bit. She was saying things could be evil, but doesn't have to be demonic, and that's
it. Perfect.
That's so true, because
absolutely.
I've seen things happen when you thought it was demonic, but it's not. It's just something that just has negative energy to it. Doesn't mean that it's something demonic, because that's where we go to all this time. Like when we do a paranormal investigation, say at some lunatic asylum or something like that, or a prison, you know, those people went through hell, especially a prison, you know, penitentiary. Sure. Those people went through hell. They beat the hell out of each other. They took drugs. You know, they're going to be angry. So it's going to be an angry spirit, not demonic. Yeah. Now, has demonic stuff have happened? I'm sure it has. But, you know, there's two different kind of, you know, there's angry spirits and there's demonic spirits. But a lot of times some people say, they blame the devil or demon or whatever it is all the time, when you got to really look at the aspect of what's really going on there. Is it, you know, actually something that was just negative there? And look at the history. The history is the most important part of going to investigation. I don't know how many times I've been to an investigation that I have to look at the history of it and the context and everything that went on there.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you'll miss the whole point if we don't.
I believe that too, bro. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes.
Courtney had a question. Do you think they have rules in the spirit world with communications, and that way we don't know everything about spirits?
You know what, Courtney? Like, I honest to God think that exact same thing. In fact, I say that all the time. I'm like, oh, what if it's against the rules? And then I'm like, are there rules? This is my weird thoughts, right? But I'm like, God, what if there are rules? What if they are not allowed to say certain things or do certain things or whatever?
Yeah.
It could be. It very well could be. Truth be told, guys, like, we are getting, it seems, closer and closer and closer to making definitive contact, almost to the point, guys, where, dare I say, we could start a peer review process. Almost then bringing us into something that could be then considered legitimate science. Again, dare I say, but still, this could happen. With that, though, I mean, there are certain things that obviously need to fall in place. You need like controlled environments. Repeatability is a big one, which is also damn near impossible. So we think so far, right? But again, going back to the rules, it's very possible that this is what's happening. The gadgets and gizmos and all the fun geekometers that we use on the daily, you know, like all of this stuff, it's improving day after day and year after year. It's only going to get better. And again, like now with like freaking guys, we have LiDAR technology in our phones, for God's sake.
Yep.
I mean, are you kidding me? It fits in your goddamn pocket. It fits in your pocket.
Well, you want to know what's funny before? Well, I want to answer this for Tori because it's pretty funny. It says, if you're an asshole when you're alive, you'll be an asshole when you're dead.
That's it. Tori, I swear to God. Yes. Oh, I see that here. I see it. I see where she said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Hank. Exactly. Just like Hank. There's a ghost upstairs. I'm going to talk a little quieter because he's listening. But listen, like Hank is such a dick. He used to like sit on the front porch and he would throw rocks at children. Like kind of like that get off my lawn type of dude. You know what I mean? He hates women. He will call them like pretty much any vulgar name that you could imagine. And his vocabulary is epic, to say the very least. Okay. Like it's things that even make me blush, which is saying something. Still, like I do totally believe that. Like if you're an asshole in life, you're an asshole in death. I really do believe this to be true. It's like we have proof of it right here.
Yeah, that's why I always tell people, love, have faith and just help others. That's why if you show that who you truly are, I feel like that's who you're going to be in the afterlife. Yeah. I really believe that wholeheartedly because what you bring out, what you reap, what you sow, pretty much, I guess. Yeah. Pretty much what I'm saying. But yeah, it's if you're I like Tori's
that was great. Yeah, that was perfect.
Yeah, actually talking about you, it was funny, I forgot about it and came back. You were talking about your phones.
Yeah.
It's funny because I had this question out there because as a filmmaker, you have those big red cameras, you have your DSLRs, and now you have an iPhone that could actually frickin', people are doing movies from their frickin' iPhones now.
I'm one of them.
Me too.
I swear to God. You use that thing, and I mean, I just shoot in RAW. You know what I mean? I shoot it RAW. Get proper lighting. You can do all sorts of fun crap in post-production, man, especially with, all your Lutzes and all that crap. Throw it on. Do it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Just do it up. Like, it is phenomenal what you're able to do with those things.
It's just amazing now that you could carry around a camera and make a movie with it when you have this huge-ass camera in a freaking case that's cost like thousands and thousands of dollars. You don't even need it.
That's just it, bro. Like, I will never forget, like when Groff first came here to film Paranormal Lockdown, right? They used the kitchen kind of as the staging area or whatever, because we had this big island in there that you can put a lot of stuff on. Well, they would rig up all these cameras and then they would put them on that thing. So if their camera guy needed to get to the other camera, he could just run, grab it, and go. You know what I mean? Because things are happening so fast usually. And they had 4 of those red cameras, all kitted up and rigged up. Boom, boom, boom. Right there, like right here, 4 of them right on the thing. And I'm like, that's $30,000. That's $30,000. That's $30,000. You know what I mean? It's just unbelievable. And now, like indie filmmaking is becoming kind of this thing now where people are getting creative. People are getting very creative, and I love it. Especially when it comes to like your phones, all this stuff. Like, I mean, yeah, I've got, lenses and all that stuff. My go-to camera it's a Canon T7i. You know what I mean? That's what I have. It's a T7i. It's under $1,000 for a Canon.
I just got a Canon M50. So it's like,
exactly, man. So, and like, I like Canon cameras. That's just kind of my go-to or whatever. I learned on, that's what I shoot on, whatever. But dude, it's just amazing. But some of the cinema lenses, the lenses alone are, $3,000, $5,000 for a piece of glass. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn. It's like, well, okay, I'm gonna have to make a few more movies so I can afford this lens, and then I can put it on this to make more movies. And by that time it'll be outdated,
Well, that's why you got all those programs to do that for you. You don't even need the lenses for that.
Dude, it's crazy now, man. It is crazy what you can do now with, you know what I mean? Just an iPhone and a gimbal or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, and I just bought a new gimbal, so it's like it's nuts, man. Where it's just less stuff, the better, man.
Sure. You show up to shoot, and all you have is your iPhone and a gimbal. Okay, cool.
Take
you got to worry about charging the gimbal, charge your phone, call it a day.
And a good mic, man, and that's it.
Yeah, you got to have the decent mic. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah, but talking about tech, what kind of tech do you use on your investigations, and what would you tell your listeners? What do you use, and personally, which one's your favorite?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I have a favorite. I'm so damn analytical when it comes to devices, right? So obviously I've got 6 different K2 meters lying around the place, right? One thing that I have used a ton, and it does seem to foster results, is the EM pumps, right? And I've got 2 of those that I'll just place, like the Patreon videos that I do. I will take those pumps and I will put them in the area that I'm going to that night, and I'll let them run for 3 or 4 hours at a time, and then I'll go and investigate. And it does seem to help kind of move things along a little faster. It does seem that there's certainly a lot more charge in the air for sure. But one piece of equipment that I have been using, let me see if I can grab it real quick. Okay. 1 second, bro.
All right.
All right. So it's just the EDI Plus thing that I've been using. And the reason why I like it so much is because it seems to kind of shy away from the false positives, right? It takes a lot for this thing to actually, especially when you're talking about the milligauss readout with EMF, it really does take a lot to trigger this guy. And so I was like, well, the false positives seem to be kind of out the window, which is good. Now I'm still working with it. I still want to kind of, test it out a little bit just to see what really kind of makes it tick.
Now, question with that, I know with the EMF detector, if it's near your phone and your phone goes off like a text message, will it send that the EMF charge out to
it certainly does to K2 meters. I know that.
Yeah.
It'll make K2 meters go crazy.
Yeah.
I'm now kind of in the practice of just not taking my phone, just kind of leaving it wherever. And so I haven't tested that yet. I would assume that, yes, it would probably trip the EMF detector in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the vibration sensor, the temperature readouts, even the humidity and everything like that. I love it. So I'm really enjoying this. It gives you the digital readout as well as far as the activity. So you can kind of correlate data. With things that you are experiencing in the atmosphere as well. So it's pretty cool little piece of equipment. So that's the one that I'm kind of working with the most now.
Yeah. Have you had any interesting reads on your equipment or something, an experience that you've had that kind of made you holy crap, kind of a holy shit moment?
Sure. I've had plenty of those. It makes you wonder if the equipment isn't malfunctioning in some way, right? And it's tough. When you're up in the attic or whatever, and it's winter right now, so it's somewhat cold up there, really. And this thing right here is telling you initially when you enter the environment, that it's telling you that it's, maybe 40 degrees or something similar to that. It's still fairly chilly. But then you're up there for maybe 30 minutes and you start to feel physically sick. You start to feel like you could, get physically sick. And the temperature readout is also telling you that it's, 90 degrees. It doesn't make sense, but it's like, is your body correlating with the data here, or what is going on? So it's like, I don't know. It's like, can a spirit manipulate you to physical sickness? Probably in some way, shape, or form. I'm sure it could happen. Would that then reflect onto the equipment? These are the questions that I have, and I really dive as deep as I possibly can into it. So, yeah.
Before I ask Tori's fifth question, dowsing rods. What's your thoughts about dowsing rods, and have you used them?
I love dowsing rods. Absolutely. Man, I tell you what, I had this buddy, this old ghost hunting buddy of mine. His name was Ron. And Ron, he was an older guy. You know what I mean? And Ron's favorite piece of equipment was dowsing rods. Now, of course, Ron had all of the, the cameras and all the stuff like all the time. And then later in his life, it got tough for him to like do stairs. And so we just kind of leave him downstairs and he would like watch the cameras and all that fun stuff. But that was his favorite thing. And I remember one day him and I were driving around and there was this road crew that was working on the side of the road, and he pulls over just because he was a nosy dude. You know what I mean? He was the best. And he was like, well, what are you guys doing? What are you fellas up to? And I'm like, man, just leave them alone. Like, they're working. You know what I mean? And he was like, oh, what are you guys up to? And they're like trying to find a water source. And he goes, oh, you can't find it? They're like, no, we've been looking for 2 hours now. He's like, 2 hours? Jesus. And he goes, hang on a second. And he goes to the back of his car and he gets out his dowsing rods. And within 5 minutes, he had the water source located like that. It was cool as shit. You know what I mean? Like, this was the coolest thing that I had seen. And of course, Ron got to be a smart ass in the process. So he was,
you got to when you can find the stuff. Yeah, you have to.
Best. All that fancy equipment, and all you needed was a couple $2 coat hangers. Funny, dude.
That's awesome. Tori was asking, what is your favorite manor story?
Oh my God, Tori, I could probably talk for months on that. As far as like manor stories or whatever, I really enjoy when history and the paranormal can kind of come together and shake hands, right? So one of the first things that I did after we acquired this building was we ended up like inviting some of the former nursing staff back here just to walk me down memory lane. Let me know what the day-to-day was like in this building. And it was really cool. They were able to tell us certain stories. And it was interesting. Like, one of them in particular was this lady named Gracie. And Gracie was definitely one of these exotic type of patients, right? And back in the day, this place housed, the clientele that were here towards the latter part of this building's life was very eclectic. You had people, things that we see every day. You had people with drug and alcohol abuse, right? Very common. People with Down syndrome, again, very common type of ailments. And then, of course, you also had people on the opposite side of the coin. People like Gracie, who was DID, or what we used to refer to as multiple personalities. She was also schizophrenic on top of all of that. But they would hear male voices, coming from Gracie's room. And obviously having a guy in a girl's room is a big time no-no. So they would have to go and look into her room, what was going on. And they would open the door and they would find it was just her. But she was able to shift and manipulate her voice to sound male, which,
wow,
there are night and day differences in male and female vocal cords. This is medically fascinating, honestly. One evening in particular, 3 nurses came and they sat with Gracie for just 1 hour. And during this hour, they were able to document 13 separate, distinguishable personalities, which again is damn near medically unheard of. The most I've ever personally seen on record anywhere is 21. The wheelhouse, the norm, is about 2 to 5. So for her to have 13, she's most certainly tipping the scales.
Yeah.
I would also go as far as to suggest that this small town facility, she probably could have been better serviced elsewhere, right? She probably wasn't getting the proper care that she probably needed. But I mean, that's neither here nor there, at this point in time. She is one of my favorites. She seems to gravitate more towards male investigators for whatever reason that may be. She does a lot of physical touch. I will say that with gentlemen, especially guys. If gentlemen are laying in the bed, or if they're sitting in her wheelchair, she will absolutely let you know you're in my space.
Wow.
But she is one of my favorites. Like, I will go to Gracie's room, guys. This is gonna really let you into my head and how crazy I seem to be. Okay, but I will go into Gracie's room. It'll be a flippin' Tuesday. Okay, and I will just lay down on her bed and I'll be like, Gracie, what's up? I'll be like, you're never gonna believe this, and I'll just word vomit, for an hour or whatever. But at the same time, like, I'm also getting responses like while this is happening. I think she just enjoys the company, but it's also a pretty kick-ass therapy session for me too. So it helps, it helps a lot. I love it.
Well, you get to be by yourself and just have pretty much you time, pretty much essentially.
Yeah, for the most part, when I'm not running out of the place,
That's awesome, man. Oh wow, look at the time, man. It's getting close here, but
nice.
Before we head out, I definitely want to ask a question that I love to ask everybody is, what kind of advice would you give people that are just coming into this? Especially, it could be also it's fun. Don't get me wrong, this is fun, but it could also be dangerous too. So what kind of advice would you give a person that's definitely coming into this, not knowing if they're coming into it as a skeptic or if they're wide open? So what kind of advice would you give someone like that?
I would say, honestly, just read everything that you can get your hands on. I mean, just devour content. Okay. I mean, yeah, like things like that, like go back to like the parapsychological studies and things of that nature. They were doing some amazing things back in the 70s and 80s. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. Read Hans Holzer stuff. Look at the case files of Ed and Lorraine Warren. Do that, look at that stuff. And then look at what's going on today and kind of see how the two can complement one another and how we have progressed in the field. And then start to formulate your own ideas. It's like, hey, what if we did it like this? What if we did it like that? That's what I enjoy doing, because I mean, shit, if we had the answers, we wouldn't be doing this show right now. If we had the answers, we would just know, right? Like, we're all in this crap together. We are all in this together, and we're all ultimately after that one question, and it's just, what happens when we die? That's it. That is it.
Yep.
Boil it all down, take away all the paradrama bullshit, get it out of here.
Gosh.
And just that's it. What happens when we die? That is the one question that we're all after. And I mean, that's it. We all need to help each other out and all of that fun stuff, because we're all after the same thing, guys. That's it.
Yeah. Just leave the drama out of it.
I don't even care. Yeah. I just don't even pay attention anymore. Yeah. Too much.
Damn, man. Thank you so much, man. Thank you everybody for listening. Thank you for the amazing questions, for asking Josh Hurd. Josh, thank you so much for coming on Animal Paranormal Live. It has been an honor. If you want to talk after the show for a little bit, just to chit chat for a little bit, I'd love to do that. But thank you guys so much for coming on Animal Paranormal Live. Love you guys. Stay safe and, be good. No drama, everybody. Bye.
Thanks, guys.